CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight in Ottawa, where the federal government's budget passed earlier tonight, meaning there will be no holiday season election. It was close, though, just a handful of votes keeping Mark Carney's minority government in power. Abigail Beeman reports.
Yeas pour 170, 170. Nays contre 168, 163.
A Liberal minority government on the razor's edge of a majority, 170 seats to the opposition's combined 173, survives this budget confidence test with a tight vote result.
This is not about us. This is about Canadians. And the vast, vast, vast majority of Canadians want us to try to make this parliament work. They do not want an election. 2 of 7 NDP MPs abstained from voting, Gord Johns and Laurie Idloot. So did 2 Conservatives, Shannon Stubbs, whose office said she was on approved medical leave, and Matt Genereux, who announced his resignation after floor-crossing rumors.
Mr. Speaker, I was unable to use my app. I would like to vote no.
2 more Conservative MPs initially appeared to have abstained, citing technical difficulties, including House Leader Andrew Scheer.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I had technical difficulty. I would like to vote no.
They were both in the House as well. So one could possibly surmise that maybe they were waiting to see which way the vote was going to go themselves before they decided if they were going to abstain or if they were going to vote against it.
The only opposition member to vote with the government?
Can he confirm here on the floor of this House that in passing this budget, the government is committed to holding to as far below 2 degrees as possible?
Green Party leader Elizabeth May, who said this exchange in question period.
I can confirm to this House that we will respect our Paris commitments for climate change and we're determined to achieve them.
Was enough to win her support for this one vote. It all boils down to the minority Liberal government surviving for now, avoiding a Christmas election. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Here in London, Mayor Josh Morgan is pushing back against a councillor's efforts to make big changes to his 2026 budget just days before deliberations begin. Daryl Newcomb reports.
Councillor Susan Stevenson says the public's told her that the tax increase in the mayor's budget is too high.
Given the 16% increase over the last 2 years, that they're not willing to accept a 3.6.
Stevenson has proposed several amendments to the mayor's budget, including lowering the tax increase by 1% by taking $8.8 million from a reserve account.
We have financial pressures coming, and how do we show the public that we're not going to just put that tax burden on them in 2028?
I'm not going to rate a reserve fund on a one-time basis to provide a tax relief. That's just not responsible or sustainable.
Mayor Josh Morgan rejects Stevenson's comparison to his use of $8.43 million from the 2024 surplus to reduce the tax rate. He says his plan includes backfilling the amount over time with debt reduction and annual service reviews.
It's back to what she attempted to do a couple of years ago, which is a one-time reduction by rating a reserve fund that would have led to a tax increase this year. We would have started this year 2% higher.
Meanwhile, Stevenson also plans to oppose repaying the health unit's $2.4 million debt early. She points out the province is supposed to be responsible for paying 75% of the health unit's operating budget each year.
If it were our loan, we would save all the interest, but we only pay 21% of the amount. So why would we pay 100% of the loan?
Back in 2020, the health unit moved from 50 King to City Plaza, and the debt was incurred renovating and fitting up its current location. The mayor suggests $241,000 of operating funds are instead repaying the loan each year, and he isn't willing to see important health services compromised. The health unit says it's already cut 22.5 full-time positions over 3 years, and quote, "We are dangerously underfunded. In fact, we're the second lowest funded health unit in the province on a per capita basis."
I think Londoners right now don't want to pay more than their portion, particularly when it comes to the province. And we speak a lot about not allowing the downloading, not to backfill the province. This is 70 to 75% of $2 million. It's a significant amount.
Londoners can weigh in at a public participation meeting on Tuesday prior to budget deliberations on Thursday. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Funeral arrangements have been made for the 3 teenagers who were killed in a car crash last week near Hanover. They were all students at John Diefenbaker Senior School in Hanover. There was only one vehicle involved in the crash, rolling several times once it left the road. A 4th teenager was in the vehicle as well. They were taken to hospital in critical but stable condition. The 3 remaining men charged with violently robbing a London jewelry store 3 years ago are expected to plead guilty next month. Each of the 3 men are in their 20s. They're all from Toronto. They face several charges each, including armed robbery. During the heist in January 2023, the owner of London Gold Buyer was shot, requiring several months in hospital recovering. One man has already pleaded guilty in the case, and the court heard this morning. The other 3 will do the same on December 2nd. London's General Dynamics is involved in a new project developing an all-terrain vehicle which officials say will help defend Canada's Arctic sovereignty. With more on the impact for the local manufacturing sector, here's Brian Bicknell.
It's called the Beowulf. It's a dual-body, all-terrain vehicle designed for extreme Arctic environments. General Dynamics Land Systems has teamed with global defense manufacturer BAE Systems to offer the BVS-10 Beowulf platform for the Canadian Army's Domestic Arctic Mobility Enhancement Project, or DAME. The head of London's Economic Development Corporation says it reinforces London as a major player in defense manufacturing.
It's a great announcement today and an important step in ensuring long-term sustainability of our defense cluster.
In a news release, BAE Systems says the platform ensures long-term availability of spare parts and support for the Canadian Armed Forces, along with interoperability with military units across North America. Lakosha says this bodes well for GDLS, which currently employs 1,700 people in London.
We know that the Prime Minister had made several announcements about the importance of the defense sector throughout Canada. In London region, land-based defense systems, with all the innovations at GDLS, Armatech, research and development capacity at Western University and Fanshawe College, and a whole host of suppliers, we are well poised for further growth.
GDLS has not revealed the financial value of the Beowulf project. The federal government's new budget includes $81.8 billion in defense spending over the next 5 years. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Officials at London Health Sciences Centre say they're now making use of a major advancement in cancer care. With more on the AI-assisted technology scanning patients in just seconds, here's Rita Ismail.
Cancer patients in southwestern Ontario now have access to one of the most advanced radiation therapy systems in the country.
It just came on the market over the last couple of years.
London Health Sciences Centre has launched the Varian Ethos, an AI-powered linear accelerator that can complete scans in as little as 8 seconds. It's one of only 4 systems in Canada, and LHSC says it's already changing how care is delivered.
It's been fantastic. We've implemented real-time adaptive therapy for some prostate cancers, bladder cancers, and we're moving into other treatment sites in the near future, such as head and neck and breast cancers as well. So it's been a game changer for sure.
Ethos uses artificial intelligence to detect daily changes inside a patient's body, from tumor size to shifting anatomy, allowing oncologists to custom plan treatment every single day instead of waiting days for a new CT scan.
Having technologies like this in place that could increase our efficiency, decrease wait times, but at the same time providing precise and accurate radiation therapy and lower side effects.
The Verspeten Family Cancer Centre treats up to 4,500 radiation patients every year. LHSC says faster scans and more precise targeting mean better patient experience.
This gives us an opportunity to implement really good cutting-edge technologies that allow us to pursue treatment paradigms that aims to better spare healthy tissue and treat the tumor itself, which means better clinical outcomes.
With Ethos now online, LHSC says it can treat 10 to 20 more patients every day, and they hope to expand the use of the technology to even more cancer types in the coming months. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
A fire broke out at a home in North London this afternoon. According to London firefighters, there was heavy smoke when they arrived on Bloom Crescent, estimating damages at about $400,000. They were not able to say what started the fire, but they say it's likely not suspicious and no injuries have been reported. A new skilled trades training center is under construction in Walkerton. Officials behind the project say demand for those skills across Midwestern Ontario will only rise in the years ahead. Scott Miller reports.
Work is underway on a multi-million-dollar skilled trades training center in Walkerton.
We just started breaking ground on this project. This is going to be our local 1059 training center, which is going to offer all kinds of training opportunities to not only our members, but new young workers in the area that are trying to get into this industry.
The Laborers International Union of North America, Local 1059, represents 6,000 construction, industrial, and service sector workers in southwestern Ontario. They build and install everything from roads, sewers, and water mains while working in industries like utilities, nuclear, and construction.
Traditionally, our members would have to travel to London to do a lot of the training for apprenticeship and trade school. We're hoping in the next 12 months, 14 months, we're going to be able to start to do that here in this region, so that way they don't have to travel back and forth. So it services the region, our members, and the community as well.
Why Walkerton? Well, it's in the middle of what's expected to be a booming decade for Midwestern Ontario, with nearly 10 years of nuclear refurbishment at Bruce Power still to come, the strong possibility of the construction of 4 to 5 more nuclear reactors at Bruce, and a proposed pumped energy storage facility in Meaford.
So this region is going to be building and building as time goes on. Bruce C, we talked about the Meaford storage facility, so we have to be able to service that industry. Those contractors will be looking for skilled labor, and we want to provide that in this area.
This region is booming. Bruce County's booming, and it's a perfect spot for it here in Walkerton, centralized location.
Rock says this kind of facility, which will provide hands-on training for thousands of workers each year, would likely be required just to replace the roughly 10% of local skilled tradespeople retiring this year, not to mention the future prospects for the Grey Bruce and Huron County region.
Last year we did 60 pre-apprentices that we sent out to different companies in this region. That's going to probably double next year. So yeah, we're just trying to keep up with the demand, again, with succession planning on retirees, and also, again, planning toward the future.
As a former co-op high school teacher, it's full circle for me. Promoted to trades all my career in high school, and now to be able to welcome this training center here to Walkerton for young people to learn a skilled trade is just fantastic news.
In Walkerton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Another headliner has been announced for next year's Rock the Park Festival. American folk rockers the Lumineers will play Harris Park Wednesday, July 15th. Tickets go on sale this Friday morning at 10 a.m. The Salvation Army's annual kettle campaign is underway, supported by volunteers across the city. With more on their fundraising efforts this holiday season, here's Lauren Stallone.
The Salvation Army in London has officially launched their annual kettle campaign.
It's been in London for over 130 years now. It's our main fundraiser for the Salvation Army every year. And this year our goal is $650,000.
The iconic kettles are spread out across the city at 45 different locations.
We have wonderful volunteers who stand at a kettle.
Chuck Carter has been volunteering with the Salvation Army for over 11 years.
We got to help out the best we can.
He says he was inspired to volunteer after his grandfather, who fought in the Second World War, told him about a story that he says has always stuck with him.
If you needed a blanket, the Salvation Army would give it to you. Other organizations, they would charge you. So he said, if you're going to help anybody out, Salvation Army's the place. And I've always remembered that.
Carter says he is thankful to have the opportunity to give back to the community.
The world's in a bad shape right now, and it's just nice to, to give out to somebody else that's less fortunate.
Organizers say funds raised from the campaign stay local, offering support to over 17,000 people each year.
People are making impossible choices around, do I pay my rent? How do I get my groceries? How do I help with Christmas for my family this year? And that's where we step in, and we can't do it without the community's help.
The Salvation Army says it is thankful for the hundreds of volunteers who have dedicated their time to helping London's most vulnerable. As for Carter, he isn't ready to stop giving back just yet.
You've been doing this for 11 years. Is the plan to continue to do it?
Oh, as long as I'm living.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
A local broadcasting legend, Bill Brady, has died. Brady was born in Windsor in 1932, moving to London in the 1950s, working in radio. He was considered a pioneer of the call-in show format in Canada. Brady also hosted the game show Act Fast on what was then CFPL TV. He eventually became senior vice president for the Blackburn Group, which owned 6 radio stations, the London Free Press and the TV station. And in 1996, he was inducted into the Canadian Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Bill Brady was 93 years old. Still ahead, taking time for an intimate audience, the touring musician playing a special show for struggling Londoners. Red arrows across the board to start the trading week. Losses in the technology sector drove the TSX 250 points lower in New York. The Dow fell more than 550. The Nasdaq dropped almost 200. The Canadian dollar slightly lower today. On commodities, gold was off about $20 an ounce. Oil slipped 9 cents a barrel. Provincial government officials say they're considering changes to the province's sex offender registry, which would make some information, which is currently restricted, open to the public. As Siobhan Morris reports, the Premier has even suggested using the notwithstanding clause.
The Ford government's contemplating opening up Ontario's registry for sex offenders.
To protect our communities, protect them from people like these I can't even put the word out there. They're a bunch of diddlers. I can't stand them. They make me sick.
This comes a few weeks after Canada's highest court struck down mandatory minimum sentences for possession of child pornography.
What is the Supreme Court thinking?
And in September, hundreds of people showed up to a Niagara area courthouse after someone on the sex offender registry allegedly broke into a home and sexually assaulted a toddler. That's prompted many Niagara councils to ask upper levels of government
to amend the Sex Offender Information Registration Act.
Legislation to be introduced next week will start the ball rolling.
Have meetings with our stakeholders to see what information can be released.
Doug Ford already clear about some specifics he wants shared.
You have a sex offender and he's living next door down the street and you have a bunch of kids. You want to know about it.
It's going to put some people at risk, I think.
This former Toronto police detective explains the problem is what people do with the information.
Are we going to be looking at vigilantism in neighborhoods, demonstrations in front of homes?
With more eyes watching, there may be more calls to police.
Because the person who's on the sex offender registry was walking past a community center. And people are going to say, oh, I'm calling the police right away because obviously he's in breach.
I asked the Solicitor General if he'd thought about possible vigilantism.
Then that gives a person who's on the registry a greater awareness that, you know, they must behave, they must uphold the laws.
The Premier expects this proposal to be challenged in court, but isn't deterred.
I'll use the notwithstanding clause in a heartbeat.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Good evening. After a snowy start to the week, all watches and warnings came to an end late this afternoon into the early evening. Chance for flurries winds down overnight and skies will be partly cloudy as we head into Tuesday morning. It's getting cold, though. Temperature overnight drops to a -6. We'll see a mix of sun and cloud at sunrise. Thanks, Art, for this photo of Poppy. And this was Poppy's first snowfall in St. Thomas. Stay with us. I'll have all your local forecast details coming up right after the break.
'Tis the season for helping others, and the Business Cares Food Drive is how we can all help Londoners in need. On November 29th and 30th, over 40 participating grocery stores and hundreds of volunteers will be collecting food and donations. Over 40% of people who use the London Food Bank are children, so your support is needed now more than ever. Let's ensure everyone has a happy holiday.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie Atchison, and we're starting off this week just like we did last week with some snow on the ground. Most of it did disappear throughout last week, but it's going to be a little chillier this week, it sounds like.
Yeah, especially the overnight lows. Temperatures dropping off, talking wind chills are between about -5. Tonight we'll dip to -6, so a couple cold nights on the way. Today was one of those days where the temperature struggled to move a whole lot. 2 degrees. We had lake effect snow squalls This morning, the lake effect snow coming to an end and snow squall warnings ending across the region as high pressure builds in. So that's what shuts down the strong winds. That provides lots of stability in the forecast. Now, you can see snow squall action earlier in the day that was downwind of Lake Huron. Still a few flurries out there, but the flurries will be dissipating in through Huron, Perth, and Grey and Bruce County tonight as the area of high pressure slowly drifts over the Great Lakes. Our focus will shift to the next low pressure systems developing, but these ones will be staying south of us. And the temperatures as the next low comes in will start to drive a bit of milder air back into the Great Lakes. So the overnight lows dropping off this time of year, but our daytime highs close to where we should be. Overnight, London dipping to -6, Kitchener, Mount Forest. Now along the lakeshore, anywhere between 0 and -2 in most areas. Sarnia coming in at -3. So as we go out 24 hours, this is the low pressure area that will skirt by to the south tomorrow. It'll brush by Chatham, Kent, and Sarnia. I don't expect you'll see a whole lot out of it, but you'll pick up the cloud cover. So you can see areas, the further you go to the north, we'll see a nice mix of sun and cloud. By the afternoon, the clouds fill in across most of the area, so we'll go mainly cloudy. But we'll leave the probability of showers on the very low end, only expecting some rainfall as we head towards Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent, and Sarnia. Elgin County, you'll see some cloud cover move in the afternoon. But we will start the day Tuesday in London with a mix of sun and cloud, and that mix will carry us through noon hour. Winds will be light and variable through the afternoon. Mainly cloudy conditions expected, and the forecast high coming in at +5. So that low pressure area, again, will drive about a 30 to a 40% chance of showers into the area as it pushes through. 40 may be a bit high. Peaks of sunshine expected early in the day and then overcast as we head into the evening. Lots of sunshine for your Wednesday. Again, 5 degrees, but some cold overnight lows for sure. So that means some icy conditions. So anything that melts out there and all that slush, of course, will be freezing over. So it always becomes a bit difficult to drive, especially on those side streets. Mainly cloudy on a Thursday, 6 degrees, and the melt will continue at 7 degrees with a chance of showers on a Friday. A 40% chance of a rain snow mix as we head into Saturday, but a mix of sun and cloud Sunday, and daytime high a week out on the mild side. And overnight lows not too bad. Typical forecast for this time of year. We won't see any major swings. We'll have a couple cold nights getting us prepared for the season ahead and the snowfall, of course, but the melt will be on across the region. Wednesday, we're back into a mix of sun and cloud, and 4 degrees. We'll hit 6 on Thursday. Chance of nighttime rainfall and then some showers on Friday. A rain snow mix heading into Saturday, although at this point the probability on the lower end. Always a difficult forecast this time of year because any shift in those winds coming off Lake Huron, of course, generates lots of lake effect snow. Flurries in the forecast tomorrow morning will be quite minimal. Not expecting a whole lot through Huron, Perth, Grey, Bruce, but can't rule it out with the temperature just below the freezing mark. We'll see some peaks of sunshine before the clouds that move in as we head into the afternoon. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks very much, Julie. Canadian Music Hall of Famers Blue Rodeo were in London this weekend. They played Canada Life Place Saturday night, but before that, the band's keyboardist played a free show at the London Coffee House. And with more on that gig, here's Brent Lale.
There's no other audience I'd rather be playing for than this audience right here.
Traveling across Canada with his band Blue Rodeo, Mike Boguski is taking time in each city to make someone's day.
He's in a stratosphere that's a little bit different than ours, financially and notoriety, but yet he's coming to a place where people are in need and what have you, just to, yes, serve as a pick-me-up.
The cost of love and understanding.
Prior to the show at Canada Life Place, the keyboardist stopped by the London Coffee House drop-in space to play a free concert.
If I can just bring an hour of music to people who may not be able to come to tonight's show, that's pretty awesome because, recognizing people as human beings with faces is what it's all about. Everyone loves music, not everybody can afford a ticket.
The London Coffee House has a long history of serving a cup of coffee or just giving support to both men and women who are either homeless or at risk of homelessness.
Creating accessibility to the arts, to things that bring that sense of joy and hope and really inspire people through creativity is wonderful. I mean, we look at like the whole spectrum of wellness, right? And the basic needs, housing, that's one piece, the survival. And then when we can add things like this that really just bring that sense of meaning and joy and purpose and connection through community is super exciting.
On this tour, Mike began playing for local food banks at libraries. But when in British Columbia, he discovered a community shelter and started playing for the unhoused.
If I can find somebody who is willing to believe me that I actually am Mike Boguski from Blue Rodeo who wants to play your community shelter, I'll be playing. But, you know, if you're under 40, just Google Blue Rodeo. We're a popular band, and, you know, I want to play your shelter.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
CTV News London has a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local headlines. By signing up, you'll get local news content from CTV London direct to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewslondon.ca. Finally tonight, an Eastern Ontario lottery that went the distance. It took 51 weeks for someone to claim a Catch the Ace jackpot, which became one of the largest in Ontario's history. With more on the winner, who's now a multi-millionaire, here's Kimberly Johnson.
It's the announcement that changed Shelley Eckford's life forever. The moment she found out she won $2.45 million.
I'm extremely happy. I'm extremely grateful.
Eckford won the money in the Catch the Ace lottery held by the Kin Club of Russell. Every week, a draw was held to open one of 52 envelopes in search of the winning ace of spades.
We started with 52 cards of a deck. We're down to 2.
The lottery running for 51 weeks, swelling to millions, leading to a frenzy of ticket buying in Russell and across Ontario before Sunday's draw.
I said if I'm meant to win, the right number will be picked. This just blows my mind.
More than 86,000 tickets were purchased, helping raise more than $3.3 million for 26 charities, including Breast Cancer Action Ottawa.
This has been the most epic thing that could ever happen to the organization.
The ultimate win-win that Eckford and her husband never thought would include them.
At work, and I was driving on the highway, and Shelley phoned me, and she's like so excited and couldn't hardly breathe or talk. And then I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I just won $2.4 million. I was like, you're joking me.
She's been playing on and off for 3 years, but when the pot swelled, she jumped in. In all, she spent just $50. Eckford says she now has dreams of going on their first family trip and renovating their home, but it's looking at her 15-year-old daughter, knowing they can provide for her. That means the most.
Worry about your kids. It's nice to be able to do that for her.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.